This rich kid has a nasty habit. He bites other boys' ears and blew smoke in female teachers' faces just to mess with them. Sometimes, he even grabbed a teacher and whispered disgusting things. His classmates laughed, snapped photos, and joked that the teacher wanted to sit on his lap. She tried to ignore the insults, but clenched her fists. After a moment, she decided to stay quiet. He wasn't just a bully. He was a monster in a school uniform. Han was the school's most feared bully. Since he was 5, he used his family's money and power to do whatever he wanted. No one was safe, not even the old lady selling sushi outside. Every day, Han and his gang knocked her sushi to the ground, stuffed cigarette butts into it, and forced her to eat it. When her grandson tried to stop them, they beat him up and made him eat the dirty sushi too. He had no choice but to obey. That was just the beginning of his nightmare. Every day, Han choked him until he passed out, then woke him up to do it again. At lunch, he was locked in a dark cabinet and had to eat sushi off the floor. During breaks, Han made him play rock, paper, scissors, where the loser got slapped. The boy purposely lost every time, hoping it would end. But Han wanted more. He turned on the school speakers and let his chilling laughter echo through the halls. Students trembled in fear. Teachers, scared of losing their jobs, looked the other way. And Han only got worse.
거다. 나 평화롭게 학교 다니고 싶어. 폭력.
When trainee teacher Shin arrived, everything changed. She seemed kind and gentle, but in reality, she was one of Korea's top boxers. She had won countless awards and could have represented Korea in world championships. But to pay off her father's massive debts, she threw a match for money, destroying her career. With no other choice, she became a high school teacher, staying quiet and cautious to secure a permanent job. The only place she let out her frustration was in the restroom, punching the air in silence. Then, she uncovered a dark secret. The teacher she replaced had died by suicide just 2 days before, but it wasn't what it seemed. He had been pushed to his death by Han, the school's untouchable bully. Teacher Lee warned Shin to stay away from Han. On the surface, she agreed, but inside, she burned with anger, especially because Han often tormented an elderly woman she had once helped. Still, she stayed quiet, releasing her rage only through boxing in secret. Then came the breaking point. Shin saw Han's gang attacking Jun-young, putting a black bag over his head, ready to beat him again. She hesitated. Lee's warning echoed in her mind. But when Han kicked Jun-young to the ground and his gang laughed without fear, she clenched her fists. Just as she was about to step in, a student, Jung-woo, stopped her. He whispered that Han's father was a prosecutor, his mother a lawyer, and his uncle a police chief. No one dared to challenge him. Han threatened to kill Jun-young's grandmother if he resisted. Jun-young, terrified, stayed still to protect her. Just as Han was about to strike, Shin acted. She pretended to make a phone call, casually walking by, then accidentally tripped, hitting Han's leg as she fell. Everyone thought it was an accident. She quickly scolded Jun-young, urging him to return to class. But without Han's permission, Jun-young didn't dare move. Han's eyes burned with rage. He wanted to destroy the troublesome teacher. Shin, playing dumb, slipped away, but Han had already noticed her.
뭐해? 쉬는 시간 끝났어. 얼른 들어가. 얼른. 괜찮니?
눈 똑바로 안 뜨고 다니냐?
어떻게 양호실은 안 가도 되겠지? 선생님은 아파 죽겠다.
The next day, Jun-young begged Shin for help, crying as he told her about Han's bullying. But Shin, just a trainee teacher, said she couldn't do anything. She told him to talk to the homeroom teacher or call the police. But he had already tried both. The teacher ignored it, and the police were bribed by Han's wealthy parents. The case was closed due to lack of evidence. Shin suggested he transfer schools, but Jun-young refused. He hadn't done anything wrong. Why should he be the one to leave? The bullies were the ones who deserved punishment. Seeing him break down, Shin felt helpless. But later, she gathered the courage to write an anonymous letter to the Education Bureau. The next day, the letter spread like wildfire across the school, throwing everyone into panic. Han's furious mother stormed into the school, demanding the letter writer come forward or face defamation charges, which meant jail time and a huge fine. Teacher Lee stood up to her, but Han's mother turned her fury on her, insulting her nonstop.
내가 누군지 몰라? 도감 승진하기 싫어?
그럴 리가요. 그게 아니라 수강 어머니.
진정하시고.
당신은 내년에 교장 안 할 거야?
아닙니다. 합니다. 무조건 해야죠.
그럼 당장 범인 찾아내서 내 앞에 끌어안쳐 빨리!
네, 알겠습니다.
Out of nowhere, Sane dropped to her knees and confessed. She begged for forgiveness, but Han's mother humiliated her, insisting the school fire her. Desperate to keep her job, Sane kept bowing and apologizing, while Han watched smugly from outside. Later, he cornered Jun-young, whispering that he would never escape him. That night, as Sane worried about her future, she spotted Han glaring at her. His gang shoved fake photos in her face, edited images of her and Jun-young kissing. She ignored them and tried to walk away, but Han grabbed her. He warned her to obey if she wanted to keep her job. Han had made sure the school didn't fire her, not out of kindness, but because he wanted to punish her himself. And this was just the beginning. Sane walked the streets, lost in thought. A man bumped into her, and she quickly apologized, but he wouldn't let it go. As he hurled insults, she remembered the humiliation she had faced earlier that day. She had done nothing wrong, yet she had to take the blame. Staying silent only made bullies worse. At that moment, she decided violence had to be met with violence. She would make sure the bad guy paid. From then on, she followed Han, watching his every move. The next time he bullied someone, she stepped in, transforming into the cat warrior, ready to teach him a lesson. Han was caught off guard. He tried to fight back, but he was no match for her. The boys watching were stunned. They had never seen Han lose before. Both threw a final punch at the same time, but it was Han who ended up bleeding, looking completely defeated. Then, the sound of sirens filled the air. The police had arrived. Everyone scattered. Sane lay on the grass, feeling satisfied. Jung-woo, hiding nearby, had seen everything. He spread the news all over school. Han, the feared bully, had been beaten. Even the teachers secretly felt justice had been served. But Sane? She acted as if nothing had happened. Soon, graffiti covered the school. Insults about Han, drawings of the cat warrior, even messages carved onto Han's desk. His pride was shattered. Furious, his gang came up with a new game to lift his spirits. They grabbed Jun-young, stripped him, shoved a plastic bag over his head, and wrote cruel words on his back. Then they gave him a task: buy fried chicken in 5 minutes, or they would hurt his grandma. Jun-young ran as fast as he could, making people on the street think he was crazy. When he reached the fried chicken shop, the owner was shocked. Jung-woo, who worked there, immediately ran to find Simin. He handed her his jacket and told her to stay hidden. But Simin kept denying she was cat warrior. Jung-woo said he had seen everything. He admitted to calling the police and spreading the news about Han's attack. Desperate, he begged their teacher for help. Meanwhile, Han was having fun watching a video of Jun-young getting bullied. He even ordered his guys to edit it in a cruel way and post it online. Suddenly, Simin appeared again as cat warrior. Furious, Han grabbed a billiard ball and threw it at her. Simin fought back hard, but one of Han's men ambushed her. Han tried to take advantage, but Simin quickly recovered. Just then, Jun-young returned, holding a knife. Sensing danger, Simin kicked Han away, but not fast enough. The knife slashed her arm.
안 돼, 준영아.
Everyone froze. Jun-young broke down in tears, while others recorded everything. The fried chicken shop owner rushed in and dragged Jun-young away. Simin also took the chance to escape. At the hospital, the doctor advised Simin to stay for a few days, but she couldn't risk Han finding her. She had to return to school. But Han wasn't giving up. He and his gang started checking students' arms for injuries, pulling up their sleeves. One girl protested, so they beat her up. Han stepped on her head and warned everyone to speak up. Meanwhile, Teacher Lee told Simin she was about to become a full-time teacher. She was overjoyed and didn't sense the danger closing in. Han couldn't find Cat Warrior among the students until he noticed Simin moving too quickly and protecting her left arm. That's when he knew She was the one. While Si-min was on a call, Han suddenly appeared behind her. He grabbed her arm, pinned her down, and exposed her as Cat Warrior. Just as he was about to torture her, his eyes landed on a festival poster. A better idea hit him. He would challenge Si-min to a fight at the school festival. To make sure she had no choice, he threatened to send a video of Jun-young committing murder to the police. Si-min hesitated, but Jun-young had already lost all hope. He stood on the rooftop, ready to jump. Just in time, Si-min stopped him. To protect him and the others, she agreed to Han's challenge. The festival arrived. Every student wore a cat mask. Adding to the mystery, Han stood in the center, waiting for Si-min. As the fight began, excitement filled the air. Si-min thought of her younger, fearless self. She embraced her identity as Cat Warrior, not just for herself, but for all the kids depending on her. The crowd cheered, but her injured arm put her at a disadvantage. Then, her long hair came undone. The crowd gasped. Their hero, Cat Warrior, was a woman. Han took advantage, pinning her down, trying to rip off her mask. Just then, she spotted Jun-young in the crowd and remembered their promise to take Han down together. A new surge of strength hit her. She fought back hard, landing a devastating blow. Han fell to his knees. With fire in her eyes, Si-min swore to make him pay. Slowly, she removed her mask. She wasn't hiding anymore. The students, stunned at first, now looked at her with admiration. Encouraged by her colleagues, Si-min attacked with full force. The principal, seeing Han covered in wounds, panicked. He warned her to stop or lose her job. But Han refused to back down. This was his fight. He lunged at Si-min with confidence. Big mistake. She took him down brutally. Even the principal fainted first. Han was too weak to fight back. Si-min kicked him hard, knocking him to his knees in front of Jun-young. But Han refused to apologize. Jun-young told him it didn't matter. He had already lost to everyone. Han burned with shame. Si-min delivered the final blow, and Han never got up again. The police arrested him, and he was punished for his crimes. But even in front of the media, he showed no remorse. Si-min quit teaching, but still trained girls in boxing part-time. She had a strong sense of justice and stepped in whenever she saw unfairness at school. To her, the only way to stop evil was to face it head-on. Now, if you want to watch how a Korean spy becomes a clown until the mission changes, click here. And if you want to know how a Korean hitman walked away from the underworld, but not everyone gets that chance, click here. Subscribe for more videos, turn on notifications, and leave a like and comment to support the channel. Thanks for watching. See you next time.